The Doors lead singer Jim Morrison died in Paris, France, nearly 54 years ago at the age of 27. But one fan thinks the counterculture icon is alive and well in Syracuse, New York. The wild theory about Morrison is circulating online thanks to a documentary out now on Apple TV+. Filmmaker and self-professed Doors superfan Jeff Finn dives into the long-running theory that Morrison faked his death. Morrison was buried before an autopsy was performed, and news of his death was kept secret for 6 days.
Or did he actually live out his lyrics to the first song on the Doors' final album and pull off the Rambo vanishing act?
In his series Before the End, Finn speculates that Morrison faked his death and assumed the identity of a maintenance man named Frank living in Syracuse. Believers say a number of eerie coincidences justify the theory, and Frank was supposedly friends with Doors drummer John Densmore. While Frank admits he's not Jim Morrison, he says if anybody could have pulled off faking their own death, it would have been Morrison. Jim Morrison would be 81 today, and he does have a few real connections to New York. They played Rochester in March of '68. A show in Syracuse the next year was canceled. And check out this archival footage that we found of Jim Morrison. I think we're going to check it out. Backstage at SPAC in September of '68, reciting a poem of his Ode to Friedrich Nietzsche.
15 years, they cried and cried and laughed and looked at the sun and everyone.
That's some cool, interesting footage. More than 12,000 fans watched the Doors perform on stage at SPAC. One reviewer recalls an encore performance of The End and a rowdy crowd that had to be asked to leave as they demanded more. After playing SPAC that night, Morrison headed to Schenectady to join an unknown band on stage at the former Aerodrome on State Street.